Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I set up my B6 Stalogy for this September. I've had it set up for about 2 weeks now and I've been really enjoying it, and I thought I'd bring you through the setup of my actual planner, which is this guy, as well as how I planned out my setup in advance, which I did in just this notebook I had lying around. So I'm going to start with that. This is a look at the notes that I made in order to plan this out. So the first thing that I wanted to kind of figure out when I was deciding what changes I wanted to make to my system is what are the big changes and what is the goal of these changes. I don't want to set up a new notebook or planner unless I really need to and unless there's a really important reason to. So I wrote here key change smaller size, and I was thinking a B6 or a B6 Slim. I wanted a smaller notebook without taking away a lot of my note-taking room. I don't really like super small notebooks because I find it's really difficult to write in them, and I do write a lot of things down, so I do need quite a bit of room. And here my main goal was to kind of create a Hobonichi style bullet journal, which I called the Hobujo, which, you know, that's a fun name, I guess. I don't know if I'll stick with that, but essentially my goal was to incorporate the forward planning of the Hobonichi and mix it with the simple analog style of note-taking in the bullet journal. So pretty much what I mean by this is in the bullet journal, you tend to make your months up as you go along, but as a student, I really like to write all my dates in advance so that I have them all written down before I forget. So not having monthly calendars at the beginning of my journal was really difficult. And although you do a future log in your bullet journal, I just found that I was dedicating a lot of pages to kind of the same thing and then having to kind of write it in my future log, and then when the month came, writing it in my monthly log instead of just kind of keeping it in one monthly spread that I didn't have to keep rewriting. So the next thing that I did was I actually went through and wrote down the things that I liked in the Hobonichi that I wanted to add to my setup, and the things that I liked in the bullet journal that I wanted to add in my setup, which I just made a list here. This included stuff like including a monthly and year at a glance, kind of similar to the Hobonichi, as well as the weeks layout, and then the bullet journal keeping the index and keeping the flexibility of the system. And then essentially what I did was I wrote down the order of pages I wanted to set up so I knew what pages I was making, and then I actually broke it down even further into specific stylistic changes I wanted to make and that kind of good stuff. I also made a supply list, which was helpful, just so I knew if I needed to buy anything. If you have more questions about this, I can definitely answer it, but I did want to keep this part of it brief because I do want to get into the setup because I'm sure that's what most of you guys want to actually see. This is a Stalogy B6 notebook in the 368 pages. I'm not sure if they offer more, but that's the one I found, and this is in a Stride Ridge leather cover, and I believe this color is tan. This is actually a really beautiful cover. I really like it, and I really loved how I was supporting a local Canadian business by getting this cover, so win-win. The pens that I have in the side of this cover, this is a Pitt artist pen in fine. It's a felt tip pen. I use this for most of my daily planning, and this is a Kaweco Sport rollerball pen in the transparent body with a gold clip, and I just like to hold on to this in case I need a gel pen. I tend to kind of go between these pens, so I do like to have both of them with me on hand. So as I open this up, this cover doesn't come with pockets, which I'm sure to some people is a bit frightening, but for me, I really like that because I don't really have a use for pockets generally. The first thing that I have is a key. Because I do bullet journal, a key is really important, and I've had this key for about a year now, and I do really like it, and I just put it on a sticky note. Here we go. Yeah, a sticky note by Cloth and Paper. This is their marble sticky note, which I really enjoy. The first thing you see when you actually open the notebook is this cover page. This is a printable by EEO Edits, and then I ripped a Cloth and Paper pink sticky note, and I just included my name and contact information in case this agenda does ever get lost. Someone would hopefully be a really nice person and return it to me. And then the next thing I get into is my index. This is where I write down the pages in my notebook so it's easy to reference them. And then on this page, nothing's written, but I'm going to be using this as a grad school dedicated index. Essentially, a dedicated index is an index for one specific part of your notebook. So for example, I'm using it for grad school. So any notes that I write about grad school, I'll actually write them in this index so that all of my information about grad school is listed in one place. I made these 3 dividers at the top of my notebook. These are just from a clear folder from Staples that I chopped up, and I'm using these tabs to mark my yearly, my monthly, and then my analog section, which I'll take you guys through. So the first section is my yearly section. This is also a printable from EEO Edits. It's actually the same collection, all of these, so you buy them as a bundle, which is really nice. And again, the same cloth and paper sticky note, ripped up, and I wrote yearly. And in this section, the first thing you see is my year at a glance. This is from Infinite Lotus, and once she releases her 2020 at a glance, I'm hoping to put it right here since I want to take this journal from September to next August 2020. The next section is my yearly workout tracker. This is a printable from Peanuts Planner Co. I'll link below which one it is, and essentially I intend on filling in what kind of workout I do and when I do it, and this isn't really to motivate me, this is just more out of interest and just to see what I'm doing throughout the year, just for fun really. So 2019 will be on this side and 2020 will be on this side, and then I have my little legend here, which I fill in with the mile liners over here. So I'll include the actual colors if you guys are interested, but that's kind of what I'm doing on this page. And then the next section is my monthly section. I have the months of September all the way through August 2020, and this is my setup for each month. Essentially, I made a mini calendar at the top, a section for birthdays, and then a vertical calendar to write my dates, as well as a little priority section at the bottom. And then I used the next side of the page to have a task list and a notes section. And I pretty much kept this going on with all of my months, so they all do look the same. I really like this layout because it just has all I need. I need to know what I'm doing, when I'm doing it, and any keynotes and birthdays, so I know when to do things and wish people happy birthday. Okay, after that, I'm into the analog section, and by analog section, what I mean is my weekly planning, my daily planning, and my note taking. So this is where it kind of gets more into the original bullet journal method with the kind of note pages thrown in with the daily pages and the weekly pages and all that good stuff. I first made this cover page for September. This is a free printable from EEO Edits, which is quite beautiful, and I glued on this little piece of paper with the number of the month. And what I intend to do is once September's done, I intend to kind of use this to go down with a marker and fill in the month so that everything's kind of tabbed off on the side. I left a couple of these pages blank because I need to write down university information, due dates, textbooks, my schedule once I get it. So I just kind of have it blocked off right now, and then it goes straight into weeklies. So this is the weekly spread I have right now. I really like this, and it is pretty heavily inspired by the Hobonichi week, so I have been really enjoying this. And then what I'll pretty much do is whatever kind of note I want to take. For example, I like to write down the books that I read in a year. I'll kind of throw in notes however I go, and I'll just add them to my index. I only do dailies when I really need to. If I need to on a busy day, Usually in the summer, I'll just kind of use this spread and that's good enough. But once grad school gets going or when I have university, I usually need to kind of break things down in my daily spread so that I really know what's going on. And then I just have this little, this is a sticky note from a Japanese brand. I think it's Memo Me. Again, though, I will link this below. So yeah, that is pretty much all I have in it right now. I hope you guys enjoyed that setup and it was clear. If you guys have any questions about it, I'd be happy to answer any. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.